This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you. It's VSiN PrimeTime right here on VSiN, the sports betting network. We are getting the live bet in right now. It is 10-0 between the Mariners and the Rangers, and we are going with a live over of 13.5. Live over 13.5 between the Rangers and the Mariners. It is the bottom of the sixth inning in Texas. And the reason why we do this bet is because of a multitude of things. I'm trying to get it accepted here on my app. Let's see. We changed the odds there. Okay. So the reason why we love this bet is because at 10-0, yes, Brian Wu is working on a one-hitter. He is pitching an absolute gem. So it could be the Mariners could certainly keep him in the game and let him go as long as he has to go here. I have to keep refreshing this so they see if they accept my bet. But at some point, Brian Wu will come out of this game. And when Brian Wu comes out of this game, it is not going to be the top relief arms for the Seattle Mariners. We're going to get like bottom of the bullpen guys that are going to pitch for the Mariners. And so the Texas Rangers could score some runs in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th innings. Who cares? Even if they don't get any runs here in the bottom of the 6th, you still have 7th, 8th, 9th. You got 3 at-bats for the Texas Rangers to score runs against literally the bottom of the barrel relief arms for the Seattle Mariners, because they're not going to use their high leverage guys in a game where they're winning 10-0. On the other side, we are poised to get a position player to pitch at some point here for the Texas Rangers, because they're down 10-0. And so down 10-0, position player is going to come in at some point. The Mariners could score 4 runs just in the top of the 9th inning, let's say, off of a position player. So anytime I see blowouts here in Major League Baseball, I live bet the totals to go over. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 10-0 Seattle over the Texas Rangers. Now, we also could have done this in the game between the Cubs and the Brewers, because it was 9-0 after 3 innings in that game. Now, it's still 9-0 in the 7th inning, so we could look at a live over there, because same thing. We could get lesser relief arms. We could get position players. We'll see. But the reason why I didn't do it in that game early on is because in the 3rd inning, to me, it's too early to look at it, because all it takes is 1 big inning from the opposition, and yeah, obviously that could help towards the live over, but you can still run, what we really want here is we really want bad pitchers in the game, and we want to have a position player pitching. It's not going to happen in the 3rd inning. So teams still think they have a chance. 1 inning, they have a chance to come back. And the line is not going to be as close to what the score is in the 3rd inning. So in the 3rd inning, when it's 9-0, your total might be, 14.5, 15.5, something like that. But as you get later on in the game, like where we are right now in the bottom of the 6th inning between the Rangers and the Mariners, well, it's 10-0 and the live total is 13. So we only need 3 runs for the push, 4 runs for the win. 4 runs with the amount of at-bats that we have left, to me, is a good bet, as I keep trying to get it in, but it is still pending because the inning is going on right now. So we're going to continue to keep firing on the app, try and get this bet in. Meanwhile, the Tigers at the Angels, we were all over the Tigers in the first 5 innings with Tarek Skubal on the mound. The first pitch from Tarek Skubal's hands in the bottom of the 1st inning to Zach Neto leading off the game for the Angels, bottom of the 1st inning, a 429-foot home run off of a 97-mile-an-hour fastball up and out over the plate. as the Angels took a 1-0 lead, and that is where we sit here, bottom of the second inning in Anaheim, and it is a 1-0 lead for the Angels. They do have a runner on first with one out, Logan O'Hoppe, with a single to lead off the bottom of the second inning. For the Tigers, they went 1-2-3, but Carpenter singled to start the top of the first. McKinstry struck out, and then Spencer Torkelson grounded into a double play. In the second inning, little more traffic on the base paths as they started with 2 groundouts, but then got 2 singles, followed by a Sweeney strikeout to end the inning. So they did put 2 runners on before ending that threat there. But bottom of the second inning, we're still looking okay. I still think that the Tigers could still win the first 5, but where we are right now is 1-0 Angels in the bottom of the first inning. Bottom of the second inning, excuse me. All right, trying to get the bet in right now. The odds have changed. It is now over 12.5 as we head to the top of the 7th inning, and this is a bet that I'm still going to make here. I'm still going to make this top of the 7th inning. If they accept my bet, over 12.5 is the live line between the Mariners and the Rangers, and they're not letting me place this bet. It is what it is. Hey, if you guys out there cashed it, good luck. I have been trying and not able to get the bet in. Sometimes that's what happens on these apps. But good luck to you guys. I'm still rooting for you. I still believe in this bet. We're going to see a position player pitch, and if not a position player, you're going to get a really bad bullpen arm pitching in this game at some point. Top of the 7th inning in Texas. It is a 10-0 Mariners lead over the Rangers. I recommend the over 12.5 now. I recommended the over 13 or the over 13.5. I can't get it in as much as I keep trying to push the button on my app. But for you guys that got it in, I am rooting for you. I am on this. I co-sign this. Elsewhere, other scores around Major League Baseball right now. Reds with a 6-1 lead over the Nationals in the bottom of the 7th inning there in Cincinnati. Bottom of the 6th inning in Pittsburgh. The Padres, a 5-4 lead over the Pirates. Still in that rain delay there in Atlanta with the Dodgers holding on to a 2-1 lead over the Atlanta Braves. Been in a rain delay for quite some time now. Let me look on Twitter to see if there's anything, any information about when they will get this game resumed. But nothing right now, as the Dodgers holding on to that 2-1 lead. You know, I do have the run line at -1.5. So if they do decide to call this game, that is null and void. But I don't think that is going to happen here. Let's see. I wonder if they, Now, here's the interesting thing as I'm following along on Twitter. Apparently, there is rain in the forecast for tomorrow. And so, with this rain delay now and rain in the forecast for tomorrow, like they run the risk here of not being able to get this in tomorrow if tomorrow is rained out. And so there could be a double header on Sunday in Atlanta, and it could wind up being like a double header and 2 innings. No, that's not going to happen. But I think they'll wait as long as they can tonight to get this game in or get the final inning of this game in, get the 9th inning in, because tomorrow's probably going to get washed out. So it would actually be better for the players. Like the worst thing that they're going to do for the players is if they, wait all night tonight and then they play tomorrow, and it's going to be terrible for these guys. At least if they have a late night tonight, you can tell the players tonight, hey, we're off tomorrow, so take it easy, and we'll play a doubleheader on Sunday. That might be the best case scenario, but I am not a meteorologist. I am not following the radar. I am just reading Twitter on what people are saying of what's going on there in Atlanta. But still in the rain delay as we have a 2-1 Dodgers lead, top of the 9th inning. White Sox lead the Astros 6-3, bottom of the 8th inning there in Chicago, as the White Sox are wearing their Chicago Bulls City Connect jerseys. And I didn't like them at first, but I'm kind of feeling them now. The Mariners, as we mentioned, a 10-0 lead over the Rangers as they begin the top of the 7th inning there. On the mound for the Texas Rangers, Caleb Buschle, who this year has only thrown 7 2/3 innings in 3 appearances and has given up 5 runs on 6 hits in those 7 2/3 innings of work. This is why we live bet the totals in these blowout games, because you get pitchers like Caleb Buschle pitching for the team that is down 10-0. Speaking of 10-0, the Cubs with a 10-0 lead over the Brewers in the bottom of the 7th inning there in Milwaukee. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Mets with a 6-3 lead over the Cardinals, and they are going to the top of the 3rd inning now in Anaheim with the Angels leading the Tigers 1-0. One game still to come. Moment, about 5 minutes or so from first pitch. It'll be the Giants hosting the Rockies. Robbie Ray on the mound for the Giants. Antonio Senzatella going for Colorado, as the Rockies, winners of 2 straight games, will look to win 3 in a row. I can't see it happening. But who knows? Stranger things, right? Stranger things. Hey, if you're looking for a new way to feel the rush tomorrow for this Kentucky Derby, First Bet is your front row seat to the fastest 2 minutes in all of sports and so much more. Bet on the Derby and hundreds of other races at firstbet.com. That's the number 1, stbet.com. New users can use promo code VSiN200 and grab a $200 sign-up bonus. Get ready. The Derby starts at firstbet.com. We will update you on third period action in St. Louis and Winnipeg, plus the Rockets and Warriors first half winding down right here on VSiN PrimeTime.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back here on VSiN PrimeTime. I'm Scott Seidenberg, always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, right here on the Sports Betting Network. What a fun game we have. Fun first half between the Rockets and the Warriors right now. About a little less than a minute to go in the first half. So once this game goes to the half, we'll have some thoughts on the second half. But right now, 48-46, the Rockets lead the Warriors. Final minute here, 51-46 now. Final minute of the first half. On the ice, it is a 5-1 lead for the St. Louis Blues over the Winnipeg Jets, as they will force a Game 7, barring some historic comeback here in the third period. There will be a Game 7 coming up on Sunday in Winnipeg. There will be no Game 7 here in Vegas, as the Vegas Golden Knights finish off the Minnesota Wild in Game 6 last night. Joining us now on the Progressive Guest Line is Chris Chapman, VGK Insider Show, Fox 98.9 here in Las Vegas. And Chris, what a moment it was for the Knights closing out this series. I thought that this was going to be a 5-game series. I did not respect Minnesota enough. I'll be the first one to admit it. They completely looked like a different team at full strength with both Joel Eriksson Ek and Kirill Kaprizov playing. With that being said, what did you make of the Knights' performance throughout the 6 games?
Well, don't feel too bad, because I also did not respect the Minnesota Wild. I thought for sure it was going to be a 5-game win for VGK in this one. Yeah, you're right. The additions of Joel Eriksson Ek and Kirill Kaprizov, difference makers for that team. But at the end of the day, I think the championship pedigree of VGK rose to the top. They corrected what they needed to correct between Game 3 and 4. And, Bruce Cassidy, I think, outcoached John Hines. And, at the end of the day, Vegas was deeper. And I think their goalie, Aiden Hill, he stepped up when he needed to, and it turns out to be a 6-game series. But VGK move on, and now they're going to get the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the LA Kings. I did have a bet at plus 115 on the Kings to win that series, but it is going to be the Edmonton Oilers, the team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year and made it interesting after being down 3-0 against the Florida Panthers. Were you surprised to find out that when the betting markets opened up, despite the fact that VGK will have home ice advantage, they are a short underdog to the Oilers in this series?
Yeah, I found that out this afternoon, and I was a bit surprised myself. I thought for sure that Vegas would be the favorite. For starters, they have home ice advantage, which obviously in hockey means probably not as much as it does in the NBA, but it still means something. It's meaningful. And I think the fact that Vegas did beat this team 2 years ago, you're watching St. Louis tonight, and they've got a couple guys that were on that Edmonton team last year, in one of them being Philip Broberg, who scored the first goal tonight for the Blues. And I think Edmonton actually took a step back when they lost those two guys. So I think VGK, it did surprise me that they were the dogs in the series, because, like I said, I think they're deeper. I certainly think Adin Hill is better than Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard. So, yeah, it was one of those things like, hey, you know what? If you're a VGK fan, and we know living here in Vegas, the hometown generally bets Vegas. So generally not dogs, especially at home. And the fact that they've got the 4 games at home, it was a little surprising to me. But they were dogs 2 years ago as well. So maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, VGK is favored in Game 1 of the series, looking right now about minus 125 to minus 130. Game 1 coming up on Monday night here at the Fortress. What does Vegas have to do to get past Edmonton? And what have you seen from Edmonton this year? As you agreed with me, we both picked the Kings to beat the Oilers. What have you seen from Edmonton that maybe VGK can capitalize on to win this series?
Well, they're going to have to follow the blueprint that they did 2 years ago when they beat this team, and that's find a way to slow down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely. Draisaitl today named the finalist for, I believe, the Hart Trophy.
Yep.
So, or maybe it was yesterday he was named the finalist for the Hart Trophy. So he's clearly one of the best players in the NHL. McDavid, he was banged up a bit throughout the course of the season, but Vegas has the guys to be able to do it. William Karlsson, I think a lot of times we expect William Karlsson to kind of be like he was that first season where he was the 40-goal scorer. He had 30 goals last year, but he's an elite defensive forward. And when he's on the ice, especially like he was last night with Mark Stone and Jack Eichel, he excels defensively. That line, I think we'll see if Bruce Cassidy kind of switches things up a little bit. And he goes back to Carlson, Hurdle, and Dorofeyev if Dorofeyev's good to go. But I think it's funny. I was thinking about it today, and for Vegas, if they're going to win the series, you probably want to see Stuart Skinner back in net for Vegas, because that means they got the Calvin Pickard, and it means they're playing well. And I think that's something to watch, because I certainly think Vegas has the edge at the goalie position. I like Adin Hill. I think he gets a lot of crap from the fans sometimes because, you know, as we saw in Game 5 here in Vegas, Marc-Andre Fleury comes in and the fans are chanting his name. So a little disrespect to the guy who won you a Stanley Cup. But I think if you're Vegas, you want to get back to Stuart Skinner in net, because that means that you've scored on Calvin Pickard and you're probably doing well in the series. So obviously, like you said, easier said than done to slow down Draisaitl and McDavid, but the depth of Vegas is better too. You look at guys like Brett Howden, Nick Waugh. They scored big goals and made big plays for Vegas in the series against Minnesota. I don't quite think the Oilers have the depth to match Vegas. If they're rolling 4 lines, that's a good thing. And, you know, they have a lot of unheralded players, guys like Keegan Colasar, Tanner Pearson, who won a Stanley Cup with the Kings. He made a big play in Game 5 to set up the game-winning goal to Brett Howden. So, you know, I think the depth for Vegas is important, and if their depth has success, that means the team is having success.
Talking to Chris Chapman, VGK Insider Show, Fox 98.9 here in Las Vegas. I'm Scott Seidenberg. This is VSiN PrimeTime. Chris joining us on the Progressive guest line. How are the Knights health-wise? What's going on? What's the status for guys here coming up for Game 1?
Well, Dorofeyev was knocked. He didn't play the third period or overtime of Game 5 here in Vegas. He was their leading goal scorer during the regular season. The word we got was he was day-to-day, and that was before the team left for Minneapolis. He did not play last night. The team didn't skate today, and we should get a little bit more of an update on Saturday as to the status of Pavel Dorofeyev, but he's the only guy that we're aware of that has an injury. Undisclosed, we're not quite sure what it is. Like I said, he was listed as day-to-day, but that's a big loss if he's unable to go because, the guy scored 35 goals in the regular season. So I think anytime you take a guy away who scores the way he does when you're playing a team like the Oilers, that is a little bit of a challenge for you because you're going to have to find someone else to step up. And, this team has those guys, but 35 goals, that's a lot of goals. He did score a goal in the series with Minnesota, so it's not like he didn't produce there as well. So that could be something to keep an eye on.
All right, before we let you get out of here, Chris, we have a Game 7 coming up tomorrow between the Avalanche and the Stars. I've been on record. The Avalanche should have won this series already. They've been the better team the entirety of the series, not taken away from anything Dallas has done. They were incredible in that game number 5. But Colorado, they're the better team. They've been better in all facets of the game. Maybe not goaltending. I certainly would give Ottinger the edge over Blackwood. But this Game 7 is in Dallas. The Avalanche are favored. Who's your pick to win Game 7?
Well, I'm going to go against what I initially said at the start of the series. I thought Colorado was going to blow through Dallas. Here's why I'm going to change that. I'm going to go with the Stars. Pete DeBoer, former Vegas coach. His record in Game 7s, he's unbeaten. He's 8-0, including a Game 7 win last year against the Vegas Golden Knights. He's done a really good job. Last night, Cale Makar had a huge game for the Avalanche, but for the most part, he's been kept in check in the series. Pete DeBoer does something against Colorado. When he was here, he shut down Nathan McKinnon. He pretty much shut down Makar until last night. The game is in Dallas. I just go with the Stars because I'm just gonna ride Pete DeBoer. 8-0 in Game 7s. I don't know how I go against that.
Absolutely. That's a good angle there. No Heiskanen or Robertson. They thought maybe that they would come back here for Game 7, but not going to be the case. Hard to go against DeBoer, but, I mean, man, this has been one heck of an entertaining series. It's been one heck of an entertaining playoffs, and we will enjoy the remainder of it. Chris, great stuff, man. We'll be listening to the VGK Insider Show and enjoy Game 1 on Monday night here at the Fortress.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on.
There he is. Go Knights, go. Chris Chapman from the VGK Insider Show, 98.9 Fox here in Las Vegas. Well, we are at the half of the Rockets game against the Warriors, and 53-48. Rockets lead Golden State. Live line, Rockets minus 1.5. Live total, 207.5. Second half plays coming up next with me, Scott Seidenberg, right here on VSiN PrimeTime. It's the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN Primetime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Well, no goal scored in this third period. The Blues lead the Jets 5-1. Plenty of fights, though, here in this third period. It has been a very, very chippy third period as both these teams, really, you're sending a message. Both these teams are sending a message because Game 7 is coming up on Sunday, and I would assume that the Jets would be a slight favorite. Connor Hellebuck did get pulled in this game. Eric Comrie's been in net for the Jets in the third period, and we will see what that line is once the game is over here and that game gets posted for Sunday, Game 7 between the Jets and the Blues. I would love to see some goals here in the final 10 minutes of the third period. If we can get 2 goals, that would be great. Did play a live over, but nothing just yet. I did hit, though, as it looks right now on the box score. And I don't know if this is, because you never know what's going to happen. But it appears as if I cashed the – nope, I did not. Because they did take a shot away from Kyle Connor. See, this is what happens. You get so excited. You think maybe you cashed the same game parlay on a shots on goal prop and whatnot. Oh, no, let's refresh the page. All right, we're good. So Kyle Connor has gone over. He's got 3 shots on goal. Nikolaj Ehlers has gone over. He has 3 shots on goal. Pavel Buchnevich has gone over. He has 3 shots on goal. And Jordan Kyrou's got 2. So right now, that is a win. That is a cash for the little sprinkle. The little sprinkle, little coffee money. Little coffee sprinkle on some shots on goal, guys. Here in this game, but hopefully nothing gets taken away because I have seen that happen way too much in the Stanley Cup playoffs. All right, we are at the half in San Francisco, the Rockets and the Warriors. It is a 53-48 lead for the Rockets over Golden State. Your live line is -1.5 in favor of the Warriors. So we've had a flip here. It was Rockets -1.5. It has switched now to Warriors -1.5, and the total has been bet up. So during the commercial break, I bet the over 207.5 for the game. It is now up to 208.5 for the game, which is where it was to close. So it is exactly where it was to close at 208.5. I'm going to see if we can get, let's take a look, second half. That would be 107, I believe. Let's see, we are at, what are we at, 101 right now? 101 and 107 would be 208. So it is at 107 right now at circa for the second half, 107 pretty much everywhere else. There is, DraftKings is posting a 106. I don't know if that's still available. Let me check DK right now to see if that is in fact the case. Because if that is, hurry up to DK and bet that second half. Nope, it's gone, 107.5. Okay, so the totals have been bet up here, but live total for the game now, 208.5, and I'm in on it. Well, I'm in on 207.5, but I don't hate the 208.5 right now. I do think we get a higher scoring second half, especially when you consider the Warriors 7 of 22 from three-point range in that first half. For Steph Curry, I know he's dealing with the thumb injury, 3 of 7 from three-point range. He has 16 points. Jimmy Butler's only taken 1 3. 0 of 1. He's got 12 points. Those are the top two scorers for Golden State. And for the Rockets, 10 points for Fred VanVleet to lead the way. 2 of 3 from three-point range. Şengün only has 8 points on 4 of 11 shooting. Free throws, 9 of 12 for the Houston Rockets and 9 of 10 for the Golden State Warriors. So not as many fouls as we saw in last night's Knicks game, I can tell you that much. But let's see if we get a higher scoring second half because we are in on this live total to go over. And so far, so good as both teams open up with threes to start the second half as your live total is now ticked up to 213.5. Feel good about that CLV right now. We did get a goal from the Winnipeg Jets, 5-2. The Blues lead the Jets here in the third period. So if you did buy in on the over 7.5, we are absolutely live because at 5-2, I do still believe we get an empty net opportunity for St. Louis. Now, teams will pull the goaltender. Down 1, 2, and 3. Down 4, it's not going to happen. But down 3, around the 5-minute mark, that's where you have to look. The 5-minute mark would be, for me, where the Jets would pull Eric Comrie. And if you're just tuning in, Comrie replacing Connor Hellebuck in the third period after Hellebuck allowed 5 goals on 23 shots. He couldn't allow another one in the first period to cash our first period over. I mean, he makes a save in the first period, but he doesn't make a save in the rest of the game. It's all right. I mean, we cashed enough on this game with the second period, both teams to score prop. So, we can't be greedy, right? Let's just take our wins and celebrate our wins. But anyway, I would look for the next 3 minutes or so right now as there's 8 and change left. We could get an empty net possibility, and then the Blues will, if they can score 6-2 final, we'll take that. But right now, 5-2 as we continue play here in the third period. There will be a Game 7 coming up on Sunday. And just checking the box score, just making sure they didn't take away a shot on goal from us, because we want to hit our parlay here. We're still looking good. It still looks like a winner. But you never count the ticket, you never cash it until it's officially over, because I've seen too many times in these hockey games, at the end of the game, the scorer changes something as we have another fight. Boy, this is getting real chippy here in the third period. Look at these fans in St. Louis. They went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Unbelievable. Game 7 will be lots of fun coming up on Sunday. Speaking of Game 7, the Rockets hoping to force a Game 7 back in Houston, which would also come your way on Sunday. Right now, they lead 62-56 with about 9 and change to go in the third quarter. Your live line, Rockets -1.5, your live total of 214.5. We just want to see points being scored here. Just more and more points being scored. That's all we care about for this live over. Speaking of live overs, we did take the live over in the Rangers game against the Mariners at 12.5 to 13. It was 10-0 in the 7th inning, and it remains 10-0, much to my chagrin. But we are in the 9th inning. And so this is the moment that we have been waiting for. Do we get the position player on the mound for the Texas Rangers? And we already had it. Tucker Barnhart, the catcher, did pitch a scoreless, my goodness, a scoreless 8th inning by the catcher, Tucker Barnhart. That's so annoying. Let me look at the play-by-play and see what happened here. Because, I mean, this is the whole philosophy. This is why we take a live over, is because we get the position player pitching. So let's see. Top of the 8th inning, Barnhart's in. We get a Mitch Garver single, a Taylor flyout. Cal Raleigh gets hit by the pitch, so it's first and second with 1 out, and Rivas grounds into a double play. Oh, my goodness. You grounded into a double play against a catcher. We should have cashed our over right then and there in the 8th inning. Oh, my goodness. All right, but hey, we're into the 9th inning now, and hopefully Barnhart is still in the game, as we like to see. We want the position player to stay in. So we need some runs here by the Mariners. Top of the 9th inning. Your live total, if you wanted to bet it right now, it's not even available on DraftKings, as it is shaded out. But, man, that would be something if we can get some runs here in the top of the 9th inning. Meanwhile, we not looking good for our first 5 bet on the Detroit Tigers. We're going to need some 5th inning miracle here, because the Tigers and Angels will go to the top of the 5th inning with the Angels leading 1-0. The only run in this game came on the very first pitch from Tarek Skubal in the bottom of the 1st inning. Zach Neto leading off the bottom of the 1st with a solo home run off of Tarek Skubal. And so we head to the top of the 5th inning. Jose Soriano has gone 4 scoreless innings. He has allowed 4 hits, but 4 scoreless innings. As we head to the top of the 5th, we would love for 2 runs here by the Detroit Tigers to help save our first 5 inning bet. Please, get some runs here, Tigers. Please. That's what we need. We need it right now from Texas. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Hit me up on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnAir. Let me tell you guys about Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cashback rewards as well. And guess what? 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code PRIME. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet. All right, we have the Blues on a power play here in the 3rd period, so that will go a long way into helping us cash our over 7.5. It is 5-2 right now with 7 minutes left. I would assume that once this power play is over, we could get an empty net here. And we do have a run from the Mariners in the top of the 9th inning, a solo home run. We are on our way. Let's go. More runs off of a catcher pitching for the Texas Rangers. We'll update you on how that is happening coming up next, plus the Rockets and the Warriors 3rd quarter action. This is VSiN Primetime right here on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN Primetime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
All right, so let me update you on what's happening here with our live over in the Mariners-Rangers game. If you got the 12.5, you cashed. If you got the 13, you pushed. If you got the 13.5, well, You need a run here in the bottom of the ninth inning. So the Tucker Barnhart, the catcher in the game, pitching for the Rangers, down 10-0. Mariners score 3 runs in the top of the ninth inning, but do leave a runner in scoring position, fly out and a ground out, so they do not score the extra run. And there is 1 out now in the bottom of the ninth. So congrats if you got the 12.5, cash it. If you got the 13, you're at least getting a push. If you got the 13.5, you need a miracle run here in the bottom of the ninth from the Texas Rangers, already 1 out now. We are sweating out the first 5 bet on the Detroit Tigers. Again, the only run of the game scored by the Angels to lead off the bottom of the first inning. Zach Neto with a leadoff home run on the very first pitch from Tigers ace Tarek Skubal. 1-0. The Angels lead the Tigers in the top of the 5th inning in Anaheim. The Tigers are threatening, though. They have runners on first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning, as it would be great for us to cash this, as that's a ground ball on to second for 1, on to first, double play, and we are out of the inning, and we lose our first 5 bet on the Tigers. Well, that was nice. Now let's focus our attention on the other games that we are sweating out our live bets on. We have the NBA going on right now, Rockets and the Warriors. Third quarter action from San Francisco. There's 7 minutes to go in the third quarter as the Rockets lead 68-62 over the Warriors. Your live total is 216.5. We are in on a live over of 207.5. So I'm liking the start to this third quarter. Okay? We are on a good pace to cash this over. We just can't have them slow down. So we love more threes. We love some free throws. Let's just keep pushing here. So far, 16-14, the Rockets have outscored the Warriors in the start of this third quarter. So a good pace to start the third quarter. Meanwhile, looking at the stats, the Warriors 10 of 28, 10 of 29 now from three-point range as they continue to struggle. And the Rockets 8 of 19 from three-point range. We also are sweating out an over 7.5, a live total here in this Jets game against the St. Louis Blues, where the Blues are in control, 5-2, and they will force a Game 7 coming up here on Sunday. But it is 5-2 with about 5 minutes left in the third period, and we will see if, in fact, Winnipeg will pull the goaltender. Now, they're down 3. Comrie is still in net as the camera shows him skating around his crease. Does Scott Arniel, the coach of the Jets, decide to pull the goaltender here, down 3 goals with about 5 minutes remaining, under 5 minutes remaining? And do we get the empty net goal, or maybe we get a Jets goal? Who knows? And helps us cash the live over 7.5 here. Again, 5-2 as the Blues and the Jets skate with about 4 and change left. So the goalie is still in the net for the Jets. They might just be conceding this game and focusing their attention on Game 7 coming up on Sunday. This has been a really, really chippy game. Lots of fights, lots of penalties, and lots of activity, extracurricular activity after the whistle. And I got to be honest, I don't want to say it because, I have this bet that we're sweating out. But if I am the head coach of the Jets, if I was Scott Arniel, I'm not pulling them. I'm just, why give another goal to St. Louis and let the fans celebrate even more? We're going to push here at the end. We're not coming back. We're not scoring 3 goals in the final 3 minutes. We still have a home game here in Game 7. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here without any further damage being done. But I hope I'm wrong for the live bet's sake. 71-67, the Rockets lead the Warriors. 5 minutes to go in that third quarter. Your live total, 214.5. Live spread, Rockets -1.5. Real quick, let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow. We have 2 Game 7s that are scheduled for tomorrow. First off, we have the Clippers and the Nuggets from Denver, where the Nuggets are a 1.5-point favorite. That's kind of what I thought the line was going to be. Now, if you looked at the last time these two teams played in Denver, in game number 5, the Clippers were a short favorite. The Clippers were favored in Denver. And there's been a massive adjustment on a game-to-game basis. But when I see this spread now with because the Clippers were, 2.5-point favorites in Denver in game number 5? When I see this switch, to me, it's buying into the whole zigzag. Clippers win Game 6, Game 7 now, Nuggets at home. If you've just been blindly betting the team that lost the game prior on the spread the next game, you are extremely profitable in these NBA playoffs. The zigzag is coming through, and the market is adjusting accordingly as Denver is a minus 1.5 point favorite. But maybe that's what they should have been, like in game number 5, too. Thought it was a little bit disrespectful for the Clippers to be 2.5 point favorites in Denver. The net is empty. The puck is not in the empty net. Icing on the St. Louis Blues. So we're live here. We're live here for this total. The net is empty with 4 minutes to go in this game between the Jets and the Blues. We will have a Game 7 tomorrow between the Avalanche and the Stars from Dallas. Colorado is a minus 135 favorite, and I've made no secrets about this. Colorado should have won this series already. They have dominated this entire series. If you look at every advanced analytical metric, they should have more goals than they've already scored. They should have already won this series. But unfortunately, they were down 2-1 when the Stars only led for 60 seconds or so. And the Stars had a 2-1 lead in this series. It made no sense. But sometimes that's how the puck bounces, right? You get a late goal to tie the game in regulation, and then you go on to win in overtime. That's how these things play out. But Colorado looked very impressive in game number 6. Dallas looked very impressive in game number 5. I'm not taking anything away from the Stars. And the one thing you have to give them is that they're home, they have the better goaltender, and their head coach, Pete DeBoer, is dominant in Game 7s, as we heard from our guest earlier, Chris Chapman, who told us the incredible stats when it comes to Game 7 numbers for Pete DeBoer. So it's hard to go against Dallas. But Colorado's been the better team. Colorado, I have tickets on both these teams to win the Stanley Cup. So whichever one wins, I'm fine. I'm losing one of my tickets. The other one's going to still stay alive. In terms of which team I think has a better chance to actually win the Cup should they advance past this series, it's clearly Colorado. Now, I don't know if the injuries to Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson are going to, they're going to heal up and they'll be back in the second round. What I do know is that Pete DeBoer announced Heiskanen and Robertson are not going to play here in Game 7. So if I'm making a pick here, first off, the over 5.5, these games have all gone over. I know it's a Game 7. I know we expect defensive intensity, but it's an elimination game. Empty netters are always the possibility. I can't do an under in this series, not with what I've seen from these two teams. And I lean Colorado, pretty strongly lean Colorado. I'll tell you what, as much as I love the Clippers too, I know I joked about this with Chuck Esposito earlier. This might be the Denver parlay. The Nuggets Avalanche, the Denver two-step. We have Winnipeg on a power play here with 3 minutes left in regulation. They have 1 minute or so left on this power play. I think they pulled the goalie still. I can't tell, but yeah, we're going to need a miracle here to cash this in the final 3 minutes to get the over 7.5. Updating you on what's going on between the Rockets and the Warriors as Houston is now up 77-72, so still on pace for the over. We love what we're seeing here. 219.5 is your live total there. We already lost that first 5 bet with the Tigers, but the first 5 bet for the Giants looking really good as San Francisco has a 3-0 lead over the Colorado Rockies. And we did get the run in the bottom of the 9th. The Rangers scored a run in the bottom of the 9th inning. 13-1 is the final. We cash all numbers, all live numbers, 12.5, 13, 13.5. Cashes. Blowout games in Major League Baseball, live bet the overs, people. Blowout games, live bet the overs. Position players pitch, terrible bullpen arms come in, you're going to get runs scored late. We had 4 runs scored in the 9th inning of this game to cash this bet. Let's cash some more. Well, right? We want to keep cashing. I'll be back this weekend on Live Bet Saturday and Live Bet Sunday. Kentucky Derby Day tomorrow as the empty net goal. Nope, not yet, but hopefully we'll get it coming up soon. Coming up next, right after us here on VSiN PrimeTime, the Sports Gambling Podcast with our boys Sean Green, and Ryan Kramer. And then start your day off tomorrow with the VSiN Weekend Morning Line, followed by Ready, Set, Bet, and then yours truly on Live Bet Saturday. This is the VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.